Hey fellow mutants, welcome back to another video. And in this video, I am going to be talking about um something in the Cobra Kai first, the Miyagi first, since Cobra Kai's end is around the corner, coming out sometime next year. I don't know when exactly, but all I know is Cobra Kai is ending sometime next year. And I done a video on this channel talking about how the Cobra Kai creators are wanting to do a Miyagi prequel series, which I don't think is a good idea per se, because I think part of what makes Mr. Miyagi so great is that we know a little about him. And it's kind of like with Master Yoda from Star Wars, how we know so little about Master Yoda that if we get anything, what's the word? Any huge thing about Master Yoda that might take some bits away from Yoda, because Yoda is such a mysterious being, and you can say make that similar argument with Mr. Miyagi. Part of why Mr. Miyagi I feel like is so loved outside of his big heart and him being so wise is because we know so little about him. He's such a mysterious character. So let's actually go into the article, shall we? Cobra Kai co-creator Hayden Skolberg provides an optimistic response to possibility of a Mr. Miyagi prequel spin-off series. As Cobra Kai comes to a close, and with the new Karate Kid movie releasing in 2025, there has been speculation about whether the long-running franchise can continue further, with a prequel focus on a young Mr. Miyagi being a popular suggestion. Certain details about the character's past have remained mysterious since his debut in the original Karate Kid film, being in 1984. And again, that's part of the reason why I feel like Miyagi is such a great character, because he has such a mysterious background. He's such a mystery character, I should say. According to the playlist, Losberg explained during the Binge-Worthy podcast that Mr. Miyagi prequel series is not officially in the works, but he thinks there is significant merit to the idea. He compares the potential prequel to Cobra Kai, as the series showed the Karate Kid Johnny Lawrence in a different light, and a new spin-off could do the same for Mr. Miyagi. Soloberg also spoke. Oh, before I continue, that's because in Karate Kid 1 and the little bit we saw of him in Karate Kid 2, Johnny was portrayed as an asshole. I mean, to be fair, in Cobra Kai, Johnny is still somewhat portrayed to be an asshole, but we see a different side to um, Johnny. I see him mature in the series, grow, and become a better man. And I respect that about him. I respect that about the show. The characters that they do bring in, like Johnny and Daniel, we see how much they have grown since the Karate Kid films that they were in, plus grow in the show, plus with the new characters as well. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about Cobra Kai. I'm not saying that Miyagi Mr. Miyagi prequel wouldn't work at all. I'm just very skeptical about it because, like I said, I am kind of worried it might ruin part of Mr. Miyagi's legacy. If that makes sense. And like part of Mr. Miyagi's legacy is it's his mystery, and I don't want them to exactly destroy that. If that makes sense, since everyone and their mothers holds Mr. Miyagi in high esteem, essentially. So I don't know if they can apply somehow what they did in Cobra Kai to the Mr. Miyagi show. I can see Mr. Miyagi prequel being good, but I don't know. I would need a lot of convincing for myself, to be honest. But right now, I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want a Mr. Miyagi show. Anyways, so here's what the co-creator said. There's nothing officially to say, but Mr. Miyagi's backstory is a perfect spin-off show in our minds. The cool thing about Cobra Kai is a spin-off of The Karate Kid, which is not wrong. And it made sense to do what we were doing because that lead character was kind of a guy who wouldn't say is necessarily the best mentor, but in a way uh, he is for Miguel. And when you think about what you could do with a Mr. Miyagi show, it feels like it could be something that totally is different and yet really connected to the Karate Kid as well. We like the idea of exploring every type of show for the more dramatic side to the more comedic. So did Cobra Kai already settle on Mr. Miyagi prequel? A prequel can be shed more light on Mr. Miyagi's past, revealing what the truth is, and how he became the wise and serene individual Daniel knew. And sure, that could happen, but I don't know. I don't know. Um, while a Mr. Miyagi prequel has been in discussion, be it may now be a closer to coming to fruition through a setup providing Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1. The first half, more like first third, of the Cobra Kai final season sees Daniel LaRusso discovering a box that contains mementos from his beloved mentor's past. This includes a bloodstained headband, a newspaper clipping, the article titled "Police Search for Assailant", a tattooed passport, and boxing gloves. Through some of his own investigations, Daniel learns that Mr. Miyagi was responsible for a robbery and assault described in the newspaper clipping. These discoveries tease that Daniel's mentor had a darker past than he realized, and that some of the details he previously shared with Daniel is not entirely in line with the clues left behind the box of mementos. A prequel can shed more light on Mr. Miyagi's past, revealing what the truth is and how he became the wise and serene individual Daniel knew. Um, and no Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan returning to the 2025 Karate Kid film. So Cobra Kai humanized a previously famous Johnny, making him more of a sympathetic and nuisance character. A Mr. Miyagi prequel can humanize him differently by showing that he was not a perfect individual, but he learned and grew from his mistakes to become a better person. Given Cobra Kai's setup and the enormous potential, the prequel seems like the best avenue for the franchise to take after the end of the Netflix series and the 2025 Karate Kid film. I'll just say this because this is also kind of how I feel about Disney trying to do Mufasa being a Lion King prequel. Not everything needs prequels. Mufasa does not need to get a prequel of his own. Mr. Miyagi, in my opinion, does not need to get a prequel of his own. I don't know why, outside of money purposes, they're doing it. And like I said, even though I'm very, what's the word? Trying to think of the word. Hesitant. I think that's the word. Hesitant that I'm looking for. I'm very hesitant about Mr. Miyagi series. I'm not completely hopeless because I got faith that a Mr. Miyagi series will be at least decent if they can manage to pull whatever magic they have had from the Cobra Kai series into this Miyagi series. So even though I'm like hesitant and cautious about it, I'm not I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be horrible off the bat, especially with no trailer. I need to hear a trailer and maybe even some sort of synopsis before I can judge it before the show comes out, if there's going to be a show that comes out. Anywho, anywho, because I don't believe in like judging a show too harshly before it comes out, or a movie for that matter. Anywho, what do you guys think about this article? As usual, with all my videos where I read articles and or watch like do my reactions to trailers or whatever, the article will be in the description below. So if you wonderful people want to give that a read, you guys can. That said, love you all. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. And I will talk to you, fellow mutants, later.